If you just let your mind wander wherever it's going, let it create these thought loops, just go deep down these, loops of thoughts and fears and anxieties, then you're not going to have any control over your mind, and it's going to be very easy to control your mind externally. Hey guys, I'm Jonathan White, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to start a meditation practice. So meditation is a very, very powerful practice that I think everyone should be doing. We live in such a stressful, chaotic, overstimulated world, and we all have so many thoughts going through our mind at so many times, and this uses up so much of our energy. The brain uses more energy than anything else in the body. So when you're constantly thinking, constantly worrying, about all these things, then you're using up a lot of your energy, and you're often very disconnected from the present moment, which is where your power truly is. And this leads to anxiety, depression, all these imbalances that people have nowadays. So the mind, it's almost like it's like training a dog. And if you let the dog just wander wherever it wants to go, then you're going to have no control over that dog. The same thing is with our minds. If you just let your mind wander wherever it's going, let it create these thought loops, just go deep down these, loops of thoughts and fears and anxieties, then you're not going to have any control over your mind, and it's going to be very easy to control your mind externally. So by doing this meditation, you become a master of your own mind. So this is a very specific type of meditation, which is a great foundation for higher meditation practices. This is a practice that the Taoists call mind fasting. So mind fasting, the idea of this is that, again, we're often so involved in these thought processes, especially in the age of social media. Our attention span has become very, very limited because we're, clicking on links, looking at photos. We can't really focus on one thing for a given period of time. And this is not good for our minds and our own personal balance. So mind fasting, the idea is that we're cutting off all stimulation to the mind. And this is not an easy thing to do, because as soon as you do this, as soon as you close your eyes and try to go within and be still, all these thoughts come up, and all these sensations in the body, like, oh, I need to move, oh, I need to scratch an itch, come up. And you're not going to give in to these things. You're going to cut off these thoughts from happening. So you're kind of fasting the mind from all the stimulus. And this causes first of all, your willpower increases. Your sense of balance and ability to be calm in stressful situations is going to increase exponentially. And a benefit of this is that if you're going to do higher meditation practices, like if you've been practicing the Microcosmic Orbit meditation or some other practices I share, without this foundational skill of being able to still your mind, you're not going to get the results that you would want to from those practices. So this is a very important foundation to get a really solid meditation practice. So my favorite position for meditation is sitting on the ground in sort of a half lotus type position. Now this isn't necessary, but the reason I like this, it's kind of a classical meditation position, and it tends to cause the central channel, the sushumna, or the core channel as it's known as well, to open. There's a tendency for this to open the core channel more, versus when your legs are, when you're sitting on a chair, there's not as much of a tendency for that to happen. So this is the reason why most serious meditators choose this position. And it's good to be propped up a little bit. So for example, I'm sitting on just a folded up towel. You don't need like a fancy meditation cushion or anything, but you want your hips to be just a bit elevated. And so I'm sitting on here, and the legs are on the floor, touching the ground, and you want your spine to be straight. Now, if you've never sat like this, it can be a bit uncomfortable, but as you spend, several days or several weeks sitting in this position, as your postural muscles start to strengthen and the connective tissue starts to open up, this will become quite natural. It's really great for your posture. Your posture is something that either brings you energy, or it can inhibit your energy flow. If you have poor posture, if you're slumping over, it's not very good for your energy cultivation. So it's great to be able to sit like this with good posture. It's good for your health, good for your alignment. And so the hands you can either place them on the knees, relax the shoulders. You can also place the hands in the lap. You can use any mudras you like, but you want to feel nice and relaxed. And just feel that your spine's straight. So you'll notice if you're kind of tilted forward, you feel the weight of your head and your shoulders, and it causes this tension in your spine. It's not good for your back. So you want to feel that your head and your shoulders are elevated. And so your spine is nice and straight, kind of tuck in your chin. So you feel this nice length in your spine. So that's the sitting position. So the other position you can use for meditation is sitting on a chair. And this is a great way for most people to start because you don't need as much flexibility to sit in this for extended periods of time. Now, it's important that you sit on the edge of your chair. You don't want to be, slouched back against the back of your chair. It's not going to lead to very good support. Sitting up straight on the edge of your chair, so your butt's kind of right at the edge of your chair, leads to, again, much better posture, better alignment of your spine, better flow of energy throughout the body. And again, you want to feel that your shoulders and your head are properly aligned on your spine. The feet are flat on the earth, and you want your knees to be about the level of your hips, or even maybe a tiny bit lower. You don't want your knees, you don't want a chair that where you're kind of sitting low down, your knees are up high. That's going to be very uncomfortable. So you want your knees about the same height as your hips or lower if you're sitting on a chair. All right, so the actual instructions for the meditation now. So again, in this meditation, we're mind fasting. We're trying to release the racing thoughts of the mind and stay in the present moment, staying with the body to clear the mind and get into a really deep state of meditation. And again, this is a foundation for deeper meditation practices. Like if you're working with the Microcosmic Orbit, things like that, this is going to make your practice much, much deeper is when you can get to this state of thoughtlessness. And of course, it's a process, but so basically what you do is first of all, just spend a few moments getting comfortable, at least relatively comfortable in your sitting position, because what you want to do is not move, for the duration of your sitting period. And what I recommend is in the beginning, set a timer, start with like 10 or 15 minutes. So you just set a timer, and then you know that, when it rings, your time's up, so you don't have to worry about how long it's been. So you set your timer, and then when you're ready, you start your sitting practice. And again, you want to resist moving at all if possible, because what happens is once you start to meditate, once you start to stop your mind a bit, you're no longer engaged in the outside world, all these thoughts start to come up. And these thoughts are like seeds, and if you start to let your mind go into these thoughts, then they start to expand. It's like you're watering that seed and now it grows. And then soon enough, you have all these looping thought patterns, and you're off in the future, you're off in the past, you're not really in the present moment, you're no longer meditating, you're just lost in your mind. So really what this whole meditation practice is not following any thoughts, basically trying to completely clear your mind of thoughts. I know it's easier said than done, but it takes some training. So just try to focus your awareness on your body, and specifically you can focus in the Dantian area, which is just below the navel towards the center of the body. So keep your mind kind of engaged in this area. Allow your breathing to be very quiet, very slow, very effortless breathing. So just feel everything relaxing down into this belly center, and just allow the breath to be very slow, fluid, and quiet. And just relax. So you're keeping your mind engaged in this area. And again, pretty soon you'll notice a thought comes up, and just don't give in to the thought. It's almost like you're flicking a switch in your mind. You're just like, nope, not going into that thought. Another one comes up, nope, not going into that thought. Now this takes a bit of practice, but once you start to do this, you get into these very, very deep states of meditation. That's really the whole practice. And now all kinds of other things will start to come up. You'll start to feel like itches on your body, and you'll want to like scratch them. That brings you out of your deep state. So avoid scratching any itches. It's kind of like the mind testing you. And so also you might start to feel like discomfort or pain in your body. Now, if it's like a serious pain, if you have an injury or something, then be mindful of that. But more likely it's just a discomfort. Your mind is trying to just send out to you to kind of distract you. And so just don't give into it, right? Just release these things from your mind, and you'll start to hear sounds. If there's like someone mowing their lawn or something nearby, you start to like completely focus your attention on that. Just again, it's like flick that switch off, bring your attention, just keep it in your body, keep it on the relaxation and focusing in this belly area and this smooth, effortless breath. And just again, you just do that for 10 or 15 minutes. So you're just releasing these thought patterns from your mind. They start to come up, you just flick that switch off and just completely stay engaged in your body and in the moment. And this is the whole practice. And again, this is a very, very crucial skill to get to deeper levels of meditation, because you're not going to have success with, working with the energy channels of the body and things like that if you're just constantly giving into these thought loops going on in your mind. So that's the meditation practice. Now, again, I recommend starting with about 10 to 15 minutes a day doing this. Again, the key is consistency. If you're only doing it once a week, you're not going to see very good results. You want to do it, every day, at least every other day, be consistent with it. And you'll start to really be surprised at how quickly you're able to calm your mind. It's going to completely change you. If you're used to just being stuck in your mind all day, like so many people are, worrying about the future, thinking about the past, this starts to really keep you in the present moment. It's going to make you a much calmer, a more centered and balanced person. You're going to see changes in all areas of your life once you start meditating every day. You'll know that you're getting somewhere when you can sit for 10 or 15 minutes and get into a really deep state, feel like you were nice and calm and present, and feel that you could even go for longer. And then you can start adding more time to this practice. You can meditate for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, up to an hour or more if you want. So thank you for watching this video. I hope that you've benefited from this. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment below. What have you experienced by doing this practice? I'd love to hear. Have a great day, my friends.